Hey everyone, good afternoon. This is Vivian, and welcome to our little segment of My Spiritual Money RX today. And I'm using the StreamYard device because we are welcoming Miss Veronica Parks for our Why Decluttering, right? We're doing a decluttering movement this week, actually for the next 2 weeks. And she has some goodies for us to share. So Veronica, can you share with them a little bit of who you are? Because my audience knows who I am, but they don't know who you are. So go ahead.
Absolutely, I'd love to. Hi, and welcome everyone. My name is Veronica Parks, and I'm known as the soul healer for entrepreneurs, influencers, business people, and everything in between. So Vivian shared with me that you're doing a declutter of the space, and that is so important because we're affected 90% by our environment, but also the mind, because it's so important. So we have about 80,000 thoughts per day on average. That is about 3,000 thoughts per hour. So you can imagine the humongous amount of thoughts. Now, the thing is, 95% of those thoughts are actually the same ones coming over and over and over. And chances are they're not necessarily the most positive ones. They're things that you have to do or things you haven't done, or, oh my God, you're 30 or 40 and you haven't accomplished your goal. Like, I'm supposed to be a millionaire by now, or I'm supposed to be married, or I'm supposed to have this kind of relationships, or I'm supposed to have this body. There's always that expectation to be better and more than what you are right now. So it's very important as you declutter your space to take the time to declutter your mind, to quiet, to free yourself from those ongoing negative thoughts. They're keeping you doing the same things, repeating the same patterns over and over again. So if you're ready to declutter your mind, your space, and make that leap to the next level, it's very important to do both. So that's what I'm here to share with. And I have a gift for you today, so I'll share that towards the end.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and when I ask the question, right, like I ask my clients, like, what drives you crazy, right? So everybody has a different thought about what drives them crazy. So let's actually let's unfold this a little bit, because the clients would like to know a little bit more about, well, I want to know from them, right? What drives you crazy, clients? So let's bring in Vienna, and I think Monica is in the background as well. So I'm going to bring them up. So let's see what drives them crazy. All right. So Vienna, your turn. What really, like, per day, right? It's like, if only I have this, if only I've done this. Okay, what are those? Share with the audience.
I want a private secretary.
All right. That's what
I don't want to have to do the things I don't do well that I find so hard, So I'm so grateful. I have a dishwasher. I have a clothes washer and dryer in my apartment now. It's like I'm feeling like I'm living on the street in those ways. And the other thing that just is so on my nerves right now, since I moved a few months ago, because I haven't unpacked my office. And I can't even figure out how I want to do it. I've shifted from hands-on massage therapy to virtual emotion coaching. And I can't even wrap my head around what I need to keep, what I can get rid of, where I should put things. So that's what's driving me crazy.
All right. How about Monica? Monica, what drives you crazy, girl? Welcome.
Hi. Well, for me, the big thing that drives me crazy is being able to clearly delineate, how shall I put it, what to keep versus the things that no longer serve me, because there's things that are of great quality, that are still of good use, but it just might be, time, right? And it just may be, okay, just let's do something different. It may not necessarily be anything wrong with it. So that sometimes drives me a little nuts, or the little knickknacks, right? Like those things that you want, right? You find a place for everything. But there are just one or two things at the handful, and you're like, shoot, where do I put this? And you don't put it in a drawer, but they're universal or multi situation.
Got it. Got it. So I just want to share with everyone, right? So we're gonna do this decluttering movement, and we're gonna start off today, actually. So from today all the way till the 20th, right? Or no, the 30th, the end of the month, technically, because we're giving away 3 prizes, right? And we're posting that on our Facebook group, Wealthy Money Mindset. So we're gonna give 3 prizes to someone, 3 people who could actually declutter. So now I invited Veronica because she talks about all these other emotions. So Veronica, what are these negative emotions that, why do people not declutter anyway? Like, why is their life so messy and chaotic? From your experience.
From my experience, yeah, emotions, that is my genius, and I can speak for hours. As much as we as human beings want to evolve, to have a better life, to have better relationships, to have better finances, we are familiar with it. As painful as what we are right now is, the thought of changing our habits or breaking free of them, it's scary. So let's put it this way. Everything you've been through, from the moment you were in the womb to the present moment, has affected you emotionally somehow.
Yep.
And unless you clear those stuff on the subconscious level, they're still in there. You're still carrying that weight. So what happens is, let's say you want to break free and go to the next level. You're here, you want to go here. Well, to go here, you have to leave something behind. You got to have space for more abundance, more money, better relationships to come into your life. And like Vienna and Monica, like, things trigger you. It could be someone around, it could be people around. When you start releasing those subconscious blocks, those emotions on a subconscious level, there are less and less things triggering you. And it's easier to break free. But the reason a lot of people find it hard to declutter their life and no longer serving or empowering is because even if it's painful, familiarity, it's what attracts us the most.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you want to take that step and go to something new, it's scary. You're like, I don't know how it's going to be. Your subconscious mind is trying to keep you safe by doing the same things you've done in the past. So in order to break free, you have to release those subconscious blocks.
Got it. No, exactly. So it's funny because I created a nice PowerPoint for everyone. What I'll do is I'll just share this Facebook, right? So the problems I notice because by the way, my house is not that decluttered, but there are areas that are decluttered. That's a good thing, right? And today, actually, I'm going to have my Feng Shui master who comes and kind of organizes and resets my house based on the year. Because you know how in Chinese medicine, everything changes per year, right? Yeah, like year of the ox, year of the horse, year of the pig. Every year is different. So the energy changes every year. So of course, I kind of go with the flow. So these are some of the things.
That means you're not participating in the competition, but you have help.
I do have help, because as far as help is concerned, the ones that are not my expertise, I gotta let it go, girl. I gotta give it to the people that know it well. Look at you guys laughing at me. Okay. So these are the things, the problems I notice. A lot of times we don't have a plan, right? I mean, think about this. Do you guys have a plan for your whole week? I'm telling you, because I have staff and we had the staff meeting a while ago. I got to think about that and give them like, this is what's about to happen for the next month or the next 3 months. I have a plan. In the past, I don't have a plan. That's why my life was chaotic. Sometimes we don't have the time, right? Some of you are still working full time, and then you want to build a business. That's another full-time job, FYI. No time. That's the reason why problems occur. Or this is the funny part. We grew up in a similar household. Okay, you know how, my mom is so organized and clean. And you know how you just want to rebel and do the opposite? Because like, please stop doing this too much order. I can't, like, everything is in its place. So then you try the opposite side and become the rebel so that you can actually figure out, oh yeah, there is some value to organizing. Okay, so now I'm going to do that. Sometimes we're not in the mood, right? Emotionally up and down, or we don't have a role model. Maybe we grew up in a very chaotic household, not just physical, but also emotional, mental, psychological, spiritual, that there's nothing for you. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know what that means. Or maybe you just don't have a goal and you're just very satisfied and happy with where you're at. And that's okay too. Or maybe you don't have any incentive to even get better. So, does any of those, does it resonate with you? Like, why people have clutter? What is yours?
I have one idea, a couple of ideas on that, Vivian. One is I have tried to pretend for years that clutter doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Now, I'm still getting along just fine. I know how to find things. It's when I get things out of my field of vision, I lose them, I feel lost.
Yes.
And so I hear there are organization systems that keep the top line of a piece of paper, some kind of a little stacking thing.
Yeah.
So I may need to find something like that. But another thing is there was some control factors in my home, and there were a few things that came up. Like I tended to not be on time in places, and maybe a picky eater, and didn't like the way my socks felt or something. And these were things I could control. Like I could kind of control what was inside my room.
Yes.
Didn't necessarily open the door and make me come clean it or organize it. So I think there might be a bit of a little different kind, that kind of value, like what you know.
Yes, I agree with you on that. By the way, you don't have to be super organized that everything is in place. Like for Vienna, you find everything on top. The thing is, how are you going to expand your business bigger than a few clients when you can't find, because every single note, it's not just 3 or 10 clients. Now you got 300 clients. So can you imagine? You have to have enough surface area in order to just have access to those 300 notes that you wrote. I mean, think about that, right? So the question is the rebellion towards the person that had the control keeping you from really living the most valuable life and the most satisfying life you can ever have? So ask yourself that, because that can be an unconscious thing. It's like my rebellion, right? Like my mom was so organized that I became the other way. And then I'm like, well, now I can't find anything. So when my responsibility got bigger, it became a necessity for me to actually organize. Because if my thoughts are not organized, I cannot conduct a staff meeting that we did today. That's why I type it up before I even talked about it. So then they have some kind of flow. Does this make sense? Yeah. And with Monica, I think she's in a bigger organization. So Monica, I don't know how your personal versus business is. Like, is there a congruency in, like the clutter in the office versus the clutter in the home, or is it kind of similar? Can you enlighten us a little bit about that? In your particular situation.
So for me, I always have, for work, I always have a very organized or task, right? So I'm always looking through my stuff. So I'm very clear on that daily basis. I'm aware of what it takes to complete things, the amount of effort. I'm always estimating. I'm always looking not only for myself, but for the team and what's coming ahead, because I have a number to do that. Yeah, and if not, then I cause myself stress because people will be asking me for questions and I won't have enough time to adequately prepare. So I always have to be looking that far in advance. And then also revalidating what we've done. If I've put an estimate or something like that, I just had to constantly stay on top of the work. Now, what I have had is in my personal life, there were some challenges that did happen that caused me, like, I naturally am very organized. And so there were some situations that happened that caused me to step back and
Uh-huh.
not be able to maintain what I normally do. I couldn't maintain me.
Ah,
So I
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
prioritize accordingly
Okay.
and then say, okay, got it. This is
Right.
what's important. What my priority is, this is what I'm dealing with. I am doing the best I can. And now, as I have some additional capacity, or as things fix themselves, or
Yep.
get back to normal, then I can say, okay, this is what I'm doing now. That's my normal. Now I always have that side room that's just, close the door. So I have always had that, no matter how well everything is, right? Because you know the normal everyday life, because things have to function. But then there's the stuff that you have to just get rid of, old clothes or college or things like that. And so you get those somewhat organized, and then it's like, okay, now I've got all this little bitty stuff, right? So that's why I mentioned at the beginning the little knickknacks. And for me, I like to see everything. If I don't see it, I don't know it's there. And I also do things in height order. So if I can't see it from a certain perspective, I don't like that. And I hate things on the countertops. That just makes me feel claustrophobic. So I like clean lines. That's because there's always so much. Right? There's always such a to-do list. So why do I need to have clutter disease? But that's my personal decision.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So so Veronica, tell me if you have any feedback on those things that they've said.
Absolutely. So there is a direct correlation between the clutter in our minds to the clutter in our homes. And oftentimes it can say as simple as, show me your closet or show me your car trunk, and I will tell you how chaotic is your life. I'll share with you an example. Years ago, I was dating this amazing guy, and I loved him so dearly. But his home was always a mess, and he was always that, I'm gonna get to it. So one time, I'm like, I couldn't stand it anymore, because I'm like you, Monique. Like, I can't. My house is not immaculate, but I don't like things all over the place. Like, I like a good form of organization, to a point that you still feel comfortable, but it's not like perfect. So one time I came and I organized his whole apartment. I just couldn't stand it anymore. Like, I couldn't breathe. He came home and was upset. And I'm like, what do you mean? I thought he was going to be so happy. But because in his mind, everything was so chaotic, like everything was in his head, right? He wasn't leading with his heart, he was leading with his head, that he needed something to match his internal way of seeing life. So even though to me there was such extreme clutter, I couldn't even breathe in that place. For him, it was okay because it was matching. So now you have to ask yourself a question. There is a certain way you lived up to this point. If you're ready to take the next level, then you almost have to become a different version of yourself. And you might feel like you're going to find, today is your first day of decluttering. You're going to find every reason that gets in the way. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, this is more important. And you're going to put it along. My advice to you is go against it. Your mind is going to try to keep you safe. And between my gift and what Vivian is going to share with you for the next 7 days, we get to skin the cat from both ends. We get to declutter your mind and your environment at the same time. And your mind, you're naturally going to be like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I'll do that tomorrow. Do that yesterday. And for me personally,
right? Yes.
Every time there's a big shift, like you got to change, you got to clean the environment. Like I move the furniture, I buy a new pair of sheets. Like you constantly have to shift your environment to match your spiritual growth. And I recommend that after every healing session, switch something in your house. Because if you do a healing session, you go back to your home and everything looks the same.
Yeah.
you're going to go back to your old ways.
Exactly. Yay, that's a great tip. So you really have to articulate it, right? Like, we're gonna give you tools this whole 2 weeks, right? Or 3 weeks in the making, from now, today, all the way to the end of the month. Now, I'm gonna give you my little Feng Shui tool that I got from one of my Feng Shui masters. I think she did a TV segment for us, right? It was a Bagua map. So for every room, by the way, just pick one room to declutter. Okay, so I'm going to make it easy for you so that you can actually win the prizes, because I want you to win. I want you to have this feeling of satisfaction or joy or excitement that you did something good, right? But I want you to really ask yourself these questions, right? Maybe it's not, maybe you always look for things like Monica said, right? Stop spending so much time looking for things, because time is money, people. Instead of you doing something to maybe ask a client if they need help and get paid for that, that may be your avoidance to receive money. Or maybe in your head, you're like, I better be a good example to my children. Well, what they see is, if you're telling them to organize, but you're not, they're not going to follow you, just to let you know. Or reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed. You're thinking it's your emotion, but it could be your environment. Or you can achieve more in less time, right? Or make better use of your talents and skills. That's why I have time to meditate, go out in the park, do my stuff, because I don't have to do a lot here, because I can do those things I love doing. You can also increase your self-confidence when your room really looks better. Honestly, I can attest to that. You're going to gain this sense of self-control, and you can project a better image to others, even to yourself, because if you're not happy, it's going to show in your environment, right? So these are some of the things. So just ask yourself, ask yourself, why do I want to be organized? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to spend less money? Because if you can't find, my husband does this, he can't find like a box, then he'll buy another box. And then suddenly we have 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. Okay, that's just, some people do that. Have more time to spend on what's really important to you. Maybe you want to spend time with your kids or your loved ones, but then you're like, oh my God, I got to clean. Well, can you improve your relationship with your family by decluttering? The answer is yes. Gain energy and calm your mind, calm your space, reduce your stress, frustration, and anxiety, or just clear your head of all the clutter. Those are some of the reasons why people declutter. So the question is, what is your reason? Because my reason is completely different than all of your reasons. So Veronica, for you, what makes you feel like decluttering? Tell me. In your own home, for example, in your physical location, what does that give you when you're decluttered, when it feels organized and everything is where it is?
I personally just feel like I can breathe. I can't stand things being like thrown everywhere. And for me, I did I forget, there is an audiobook of this Japanese woman, The Art of Decluttering. What is the name? I did that a few years ago.
Marie Kondo?
Yes. I love that. You can search it on YouTube. It's a free audiobook. But that method had completely changed my life, because I went through every little thing. So right now my home is so organized. I don't have to declutter because it just naturally happens. Like, okay, there's a space for every item. And if I do switch something to match my vibrational upgrade, whatever I'm working on, then I just add something where I shift some furniture, but I don't necessarily have to do decluttering because my home is already arranged the way I love it. And I only keep things that I use. And that's energy. Like if you hold on to a lot of clothes or things that you might use certain day, that is stuck energy. As long as you hold on to things that you're not using, firstly, you don't show appreciation for those items. Everything has energy. And you tell the universe, don't bring more things into my life because my cup is already full of all the crap that I have around. And And you'll notice like you make space into your closet, you make
Yep.
space into your home. And then your financial abundance starts coming in from places you don't even expect.
Exactly. I love that. Thank you for sharing that because that's so true. The thing with my household with 6 humans, right? I would declutter one area and my husband loves this space. He puts another decoration there. So we complement one another that way, right? And I'm like, ah, okay. So now I talk about, well, what do you think about this, right? But he doesn't like too much of the space. I love space, like literally. That's why I go out in nature. Does that make sense? So obviously there will be some constraints at times, but if there's one area in your home that you could organize, just one that's yours, right? Nobody's gonna touch it. At least my office side, he doesn't touch. That's my side, right? So I'm responsible for that. So how about these ladies, right? What is the one area you're gonna organize or declutter? Well, the declutter happens before the organization. So tell me what you guys are going to work on this week so we can inspire the audience to find their area. So Veronica, I know you're already decluttered, so but do you have any other area that you want to?
Yeah, I actually want to share this because a couple of days ago, I got this strong instinct to upgrade my home into a sacred realm. So I would have little bits and places in my place. But like in my office, I have all elements. I have live plants, so there's dirt and there's I have my stones, my crystals. On the other side, I have a waterfall. I
Yeah.
have candles. So I'm literally surrounded by all elements from nature. Underneath my feet, I have a grounding mat, which consistently infuses me with negative ions. So I'm almost getting the same thing as being in nature. And then the next thing for me is the bedroom. I'm gonna finally put one of those white drapes to make it like a princessy style. I've been wanting this since I was a kid. So, like,
Oh my God.
and I'm gonna put it out of like I'm gonna infuse my home with more live plants because
Live
extra
Okay.
oxygen. So that is next for me, live plants.
Good, good. Thank you. How about Vienna? What is that one area you're going to tackle this week?
I'd love to say it's the office, but I think that's too big. I
Do something
actually,
small.
yeah.
Yeah.
The living room I think is doable. Kitchen is easy. I could pretty much have that done in an hour, and bedroom same. But living room, there are papers I need to organize.
Yep.
And that's the one that that's what like I see when I walk in the door. So that'll
That's
be
okay. So living room for you. But remember, you just have to take a picture of a before and an after, okay? And all you got to do really is just post 2 days a week, okay? See, we're not even making this so hard. What kind of content is this with a lot of goodies, right? So, so the 2 times a week. So in other words, for some people that are working full time, they may not be able to organize every day. Some people, they only do 15 minutes at a time, right, per day. You do what's right for you. It could be 15 minutes every single day and you just organize that. Or you say, okay, 2 hours, I'm going to do this room. Before, after, okay? And you have to post it so that you can win. Because we got this for the next about 2 weeks, right? So Veronica's going to give us some meditation to a free meditation, okay? So you can listen to her recording while you guys are doing the organization and the decluttering. And then we'll see what happens when you actually have little thing in the background, you're doing your thing. Maybe 15 minutes will go by and you don't even remember that you're decluttering and you're like, oh my God, it feels so good, right? That's our gift to you. Monica, what are you decluttering this week?
I'll say my closet. My main
Closet.
So
Yes, yes.
I've got 2 closets that I desperately need to address, but
Okay.
so I actually got started. So I'm mad that I'm just now finding out about this because I could have taken a before picture. Like I dropped off like
Well, take a
a
picture
big
of what you got
bag
right now.
already. Like, that doesn't. I mean, you should have seen the before. So, but I just made even my drawers. Like, I really organized even my drawers. I threw out underwear and everything, the personals and everything. So, but anyway, so yes, so that's what I'm going to address. Is that because I realized I feel like I'm like I raised my hand when you talked about if you couldn't find something then you buy again. Yeah, that's what happened, and that's also a reason why I donated so many things is because I realized I had multiple pairs of things and multiple items, and I was like, not a good look. So let's make up some room here. So. All right, so Vivian, you want to come off mute?
Me and my microphone. Okay, so what I've posted here is Veronica's free link on her meditation, right? It's Veronica, is it 7 days or 7 steps or something like that? Can you share
Days.
with us? 7
Yeah.
days? Yes. So every
day
day,
is a new meditation.
how many minutes per meditation?
They're averaging like 10 to 15 minutes. And
Okay, cool.
I encourage you to do it the moment you wake up because you're still in that theta state. And that's
Okay.
when you get to program your mind and really become powerful.
Okay, good. It's true because your subconscious mind, right? You're infusing that I'm going to organize today and declutter and I'm going to win some beautiful prizes. It really is. So I wanted to encourage everyone to join our group and invite other friends to join our Facebook Wealthy Money Mindset because every day I'm going to go live and pop in and say, hey, a little bit of motivational thing there, what's going on. And if you guys want to pop in, you're more than welcome to do that. Just say, what are your goals or plans for the day, and then what have you accomplished? It kind of gives everybody a boost. So this is a group activity, right? Because I noticed this when we did 12 days of Christmas before, and everybody needs to say something live a little bit for like a short time. It brought in this feeling, because you know how decluttering, if you do it alone, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this again. I mean, don't you feel that? I feel that. I'm like, but you guys, I have learned to declutter actually every 3 to 4 months, including the papers in my business. So I've learned to scan it, right? I save it somewhere so that if somebody asks me for something, it's right there because papers will build up, right? That's why even everything's in the internet, you still have papers. So I am very good at every single week. Okay, what the receipts, your receipts in your bag, declutter the receipts because you cannot bring in new money if you got so many bills and things you paid for in your purse or in your wallet. I'm a stickler to that, really. I mean, I move that out every single week. Almost every day I try to do that. Do you do that, Veronica?
No, I love that it's 1144 as you're saying that. I keep some receipts and 44, it's like abundance. Every time you see 44 or 444, you're like, but this is you have some receipts. So that's my promise for today. I'm throwing away all the receipts. No more. Let it come in. Let it flow. And for everybody that listens to this.
Yeah, those little habits make a huge difference, you guys. Literally. Because now I cannot stand too many receipts in my bag or in my purse. Because, you buy stuff, you eat out, you do things, and you're like, oh, what are these things doing here? So my wallet needs to be not thick. Thick with money, but not thick with receipts, you guys. So you really find little changes that you can do with whatever you're carrying. Because if you start with yourself, then you get used to that, right? And then it can extend to your home. This declutter, though, our thing is our home, right? Our home, unless you don't have a house. But if you have one, pick one room that you want to work on this week. Next week, we can pick on another room if you like. We're not trying to tell you to paint your house. No, that's not it. We just want you to find what you're looking for. And the goal of this is, of course, to increase your money flow. So I want you to pay attention. When you declutter, do you get a new client? Does somebody call you on the phone and want to work with you? Those things we want you to tell us, right? We want to celebrate with you. That's the reason why we're doing this. So go to bit.ly/Vivian7. Veronica gave us that special link. That's her special gift to you guys. She said, I love what you're doing. I want to help out. So thank you, Veronica, for giving us some goodies and freebies. And yes, that's what we'll do. So thank you. And we're going to sign off now, unless you have any questions. Do you have any questions at all? Any questions?
I did.
I'm just excited.
Go ahead.
Time to work.
Yay. So, okay. So when you said that, you're going to be on kind of giving updates every now and then. So come right back here and pop on to check our encouragement for the day, and then go to the bit.ly and 7 emotional meditation. Yes. Go to Facebook Money Magnet.
Facebook Wealthy Money Mindset. Okay. We're going to pop in live there. So you can just use your phone and do Facebook Live, or kind of show with the camera like what you're working on. You can take a picture again of the before and after, because the submissions are going to happen. So we're going to tally like who really like the worst case scenario, and then what did they do out of it, and then what happened to them after they decluttered, right? So we want your feedback, because this is not for us, this is for you, because you know that when you declutter, something magical will happen. I promise that, especially if you're in my space, because I have 4 money gates in human design. So money is going to flow to you if you actually give space for it. That's the reality of decluttering. You declutter, money comes in.
And can I add one more thing?
Yes.
And I do this all the time. So anytime you receive money or you give money, there is an emotional energy attached to it. So always say, thank you, money. Like you're paying a bill. Thank you, money. You just pay for your coffee. Thank you, money. And I don't say it out loud. I'm around people, but I say it in my mind, like, thank you, money. And every time there's a circulation of money, I attach such high energy to it that I never have to leave. The flow is just so beautiful.
Yes. The first time I actually did this, right? I had to declutter my energy. This was years ago. And I would do like tapping. I would do all kinds of things. But guess what? That first week I did that, there's like a check in the mail for like $15. Celebrate! Okay, so it's the receiving. Because when you get a bill and you're like, oh, you're so grumpy, that's a problem. You're like, that is a problem, because you used that up already, and now you're upset. You're upset at the company. You were the one who used their card. They gave you the ability to charge that thing. And here you are complaining. That's the complaining part, my face. So you want to like thank that creditor, because they allowed you to borrow money from them the time you needed it. So you got to celebrate that you are actually able to pay that bill back. Okay. So we got to infuse this with really good positive energy. Post it on Facebook, Wealthy Money Mindset. You can post every day if you like. There is price for effort. First, second, and third price, right? Wait. Like, you gotta unmute, Monica. You're like laughing and I can't hear what you're saying. What'd you say? Huh?
Post.
Every little thing helps. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing this beautiful time with us. Veronica, thank you for your generosity. I love your voice. I love what you give to our audience. And you're going to release a lot of these negative emotions. What are these emotions again? Can you tell them what you're releasing with them?
So this 7-day series is geared towards empowering you. So focus, clarity, balance, energy flow, a clear vision. So every single day it's geared towards something specific. So it's to empower you while you declutter in your space, so you can become unstoppable, because you deserve that. Show the world the real you, my beautiful friend. It's time.
All right. Yay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for my beautiful friends and clients. Namaste. All right, let's start decluttering, people. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Bye for now.